On November 26, 2006, Travis Alexander and Jodi Arias both donned plain white clothing and entered into the pool of baptism at the Mormon Church in Southern California. Travis performed the baptismal rites, submerged Jodi's head beneath the water, and it was done. Jodi had converted to Mormonism. After the baptism, the relationship quickly took off. Despite being long distance, Jodi continued to live in California, and Travis stayed in Mesa, Arizona. The pair often met halfway in between their stomping grounds for weekend getaways at Sky and Chris's house, two close friends of Travis, both adventurous and vibrant. Jodi and Travis set out on a series of trips throughout the southwestern United States. They documented their relationship with photos on their personal blogs and social media. According to court documents, they exchanged over 82,000 emails during the course of their relationship. ABC News published an email excerpt from Travis to Sky Hughes a few weeks into his and Jodi's relationship, where he describes intense feelings for Jodi. Quote, "I went from being intrigued by her, to interested in her, to caring about her deeply, to realizing how lucky I would be to have her as part of my life forever. She is amazing. It is not hard to see that whoever scores Jodi, whether it be me or someone else, is going to win the wife lotto," unquote. From the outside, at least initially, Travis and Jodi seemed destined for a lifetime of happiness. Inside the relationship, however, Travis was struggling with his moral compass. Chasteness in the Mormon Church reigned supreme. Sex is supposed to be reserved for your spouse only. However, Travis and Jodi began having premarital sex within weeks of the beginning of their relationship. Though Travis had always had a reputation for sleeping around, he expected to marry a virgin. By sleeping with him, Jodi threw a wrench in the future of their relationship. It didn't mean they were any less crazy about each other, but the relationship was doomed to fail because Travis was determined to marry a good Mormon girl, and that meant someone pure, which Jodi was certainly not. But within about 4 or 5 months of their relationship, friends of Travis began feeling alarmed over Jodi's behavior toward him. They noticed she started acting possessively. She didn't like it when he spoke to other women. Sky Hughes said later in an interview that she saw Jodi forwarding emails from Travis's phone to her own so she could read them. Friends noticed Jodi would follow Travis to the bathroom and listen behind closed doors. At parties and gatherings, she always had to be next to him, touching him. There was an incident in a hot tub with a bunch of friends when Jodi was climbing on him while he was trying to have a conversation. Travis, however, seemed oblivious to Jodi's increasingly alarming behavior until June of 2007. During a weekend stay with Sky and Chris Hughes, the couple decided to talk to Travis one night after everyone went to bed. Sky described Travis sitting on her bed while she conveyed her concern over Jodi's possessive behavior. And now, for a quick break.
Hello, and welcome to Cause of Death. My name is Jackie Moranti. I've been studying infectious disease for 14 years in various research settings. I have a Bachelor's of Science from Colorado State University in microbiology, immunology, and virology. I've worked with diseases like tuberculosis, SARS-1, and SARS-CoV-2, better known as COVID-19, and I've worked with EHV1. It's my feeling that if we look back at the pandemics of the past, we may be able to better handle the pandemics of the future. The problem is, we have to learn our lessons first. Come along with me while I tell you about the pandemics, the epidemics, and the outbreaks, and how we never seem to learn our lesson.
Now, back to the show. Travis, I'm afraid we're going to find you chopped up in our freezer, she told him candidly. Suddenly, she got an awful feeling that someone was listening to the conversation. She mouthed to Travis that she thought Jodi was outside the door. At first, Travis didn't believe it, but when he tiptoed to the door and flung it open, there she was. Sky later said the look on Jodi's face was evil. Travis ended things with Jodi soon after, at least officially. Following the breakup, Jodi packed up and moved from California to Mesa, Arizona, much to the dismay of Travis's friends. Her behavior there can only be described as stalking, but Travis did plenty of enabling. Jodi would break into his house via the garage code keypad and the doggy door. Travis' reactions were often mixed. Sometimes he would demand that she leave. Other times he would initiate a sexual encounter with Jodi. They continued to have phone sex and random liaisons, even as Travis began dating a new woman named Lisa. As soon as Lisa started dating Travis, weird things began to happen. Someone slashed her tires. She received harassing emails from someone signing the messages as John Doe. At night, her doorbell would ring, but no one would be there when she went to answer. Travis also had his tires slashed on 2 separate occasions during this short relationship. Friends said Travis told them he knew it was Jodi, but what he was telling his friends was very different from what was actually happening behind the scenes. Reportedly, Travis paid Jodi to clean his house for extra cash. Police later produced thousands of text messages sent between the two of them during the same time. Many of them were explicit or sexual in nature. The following are text messages published by the Huffington Post. January 8th, 2008. Text from Jodi to Travis. I fell asleep. But to answer your question, yes, I want to grind you. And I want to be loud. And I want to give you a nice, warm mouth hug too. January 18th, 2008. Text from Jodi to Travis. My pussy is so wet. After 8 months of living in Mesa, Jodi moved back to California in April of 2008, but communication between her and Travis continued. April 20th, 2008. Text from Travis to Jodi. I am at a nightclub right now, and it helped me come to the conclusion that you are one of the prettiest girls on the planet. April 21st, 2008. Text from Travis to Jodi. Send me a naughty picture. By late May 2008, after months of toxic back and forth, Travis seemed to be actually trying to move on from Jodi. He began pursuing a Mormon woman named Mimi Hall. Because of Travis's reputation as a womanizer, Mimi didn't agree to date him straight away. She made it clear that Travis needed to prove he had changed his ways and was looking for something serious. After winning a luxury vacation to Cancun, Mexico, for a stellar job performance with prepaid legal, Travis invited Mimi to accompany him. They were set to leave on June 10th, but the two would never make the trip. On June 9th, 2008, after several days of not hearing from Travis, Mimi accompanied 3 of Travis's friends to his home on the east side of Mesa. Inside, they found the walls and floor of his master bedroom suite covered in blood and discovered the brutalized corpse of Travis Alexander crumpled in the shower. Police began the investigation with a strong suspect, Jodi Arias. Before they could make any arrests, investigators had to see if the physical evidence from the crime scene proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Jodi was the perpetrator. The crime scene was gruesome. Travis's bathroom was painted red. Blood covered almost every surface: the sink, the floor, the shower, the walls, even the hallway leading to the bedroom. Investigators found pools of blood and DNA around the shower near the body and collected several hair samples from someone with long brown locks. Police also discovered a .25 caliber shell casing from a puddle of congealed blood. Downstairs in the utility room, they pulled a camera from the washing machine. It had gone through a rinse cycle, but the memory card was still intact. They sent the camera to experts to see what photos could be recovered. Meanwhile, the autopsy report of Travis's body indicated that he was killed by someone in a passionate rage. The murderer had plunged a knife into Travis's body 27 times before slitting his throat from ear to ear. The coroner also fished a .25 caliber bullet out of the right side of his forehead. The location of the blood splatter indicated he had been killed in the middle of the bathroom and then dragged back and dumped in the shower. Jodi spoke with the Mesa police the night Travis's body was found and offered to help in any way she could. However, she said she had not seen Travis since April. She claimed to be on a road trip to Utah to spend time with her new love interest the night Travis was murdered. She voluntarily went to the police station on June 17th and gave the police a saliva sample and her fingerprints. She divulged curious details about her 5-month relationship with Travis, followed by the off-again and on-again sexual encounters, but told police that she last spoken to him on June 3rd. As police waited for DNA evidence to be tested and the recovery of the camera memory card, Jodi reportedly posted heartfelt messages of mourning to her social media profiles, right up until the memorial service for Travis Alexander on June 26th. Little did she know, the evidence against her was mounting. Police learned Jodi's grandparents reported a burglary on May 28, 2008. The only thing taken was a .25 caliber handgun, the same caliber as the bullet recovered from Travis's skull. Next, they found several holes in Jodi's alibi. Jodi claimed she was on a road trip to visit a new boyfriend who lived in Salt Lake City when Travis was killed. Yes, she had gone to Salt Lake City on June 5th to visit a man named Ryan Burns. But there was a 24-hour hole in her alibi the day before. She gave a simple explanation. Her phone had died while she was lost in the desert, and she slept in her car. There were questions about the rental car she used as well. Jodi rented a white Ford Focus from Budget Rental in Redding, California, about 100 miles south of where she was living at the time. She told police she rented the car there because her brother lived in Redding, and it's where she could get the best deal. Oddly enough, she requested a vehicle that would not stand out. The trip from Redding to Salt Lake City is only about 700 miles one way. Going there and back should only put about 1,400 miles on the car. The car she rented had 2,800 miles on it after she returned it. Strangely, it was also missing the floor